And this goes back to something that some people might have, they might take issue with this because I believe a lot of people are against this. But I'm going to go play devil's advocate, I guess. Either devil's advocate or God's advocate, it doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't matter exactly because whoever's watching will come to their own conclusions about what I mean and what I'm saying. So this was directed partially at Conor McGregor, but I included Spreadsheeticus and my friend X808. So I was having a chat with my friend Spreadsheeticus, and I said, incentivize the... I sound like Joe Biden. Come on, man! You know what I'm talking about, man! Incentivize the society you want. 5 words. Incentivize the society you want. Spreadsheeticus, being great at concision and being insightful, came up with this 5-word little bit. He says, yep, cultivate a culture of optimism. Pretty strong. So I say, incentivize the society you want, or culture, economy. Build, don't destroy. Deregulate, don't choke business. Billionaires employ thousandaires. I call this B-E-T, bet. Hashtag bet. So that was a image of a conversation that I had. And I got consent from Spread First, so that was cool. But then I continued here. This is the actual tweet. Don't eat the rich. Feet the rich. Stand on the shoulders of giants. It is buying the future in bulk. Bet. So what this is talking about, and I think Conor McGregor had shared this sentiment, which is why he's... Actually, Conor McGregor is where I got the linguistic footprint for feet the rich, or feet. Because I see that, like, eat the rich, feet the rich. Feet, stand on the shoulder of giants. He was using feet as a way of talking about standing up, using it as a frame to say standing up. So feet the rich, stand on the shoulders of giants. So I say don't eat the rich. Don't eat the rich. Okay, the rich, they have their problems. With absolute power comes corruption. It does. Power breeds corruption. And there are people that let power go to their head. They let their position go to their head. They let their position in the world, the amount of money they have, the resources they have, their position in society as an elite. They may get corrupted. They may lose sight. They may lose perspective. They may lose their touch, being in touch with the worker, with the person that's actually, the thousands and thousands of people that are facilitating their rise to fame and fortune. They need to look at the little people and remember them. Make sure that they're being respected. And so what's happened is, especially with the talk of the past 4 years or so and longer, but mostly the past 4 or 5 years, as we go through these election cycles, people were talking about, like, Bernie Sanders. Like, why don't we tax millionaires and billionaires as much as possible and do this and do that? I don't have to go into the details. You can certainly look up all the proposals and things they were trying to do. Tax Wall Street and all that. But I don't want to disincentivize companies from building here and doing their taxes and having us be their base. And I feel that there's this... One of the main things that I think is missing from a lot of dialogue. I'm not trying to project the actual feelings and thoughts of other people and mind read. Mind reading is impossible. Mind reading is impossible. But what I'm seeing, what I can observe, where I can get my, the evidence that I have, is that a lot of people think rich people bad. rich people bad. You know, I don't have the inner thoughts of other people. I just have empirical evidence. I have what's in front of me. I have what I've researched. I've had what people have told me. I've had all the stuff that's happened. I have all the facts. They're all laid out. But a lot of people say, eat the rich, eat the rich, eat the rich. It's a slogan. Eat the rich. You'll see it on the streets of Portland, places like that. But I say feed the rich. Stand on the shoulders of giants. Let them help you. The only way to get power, unless you want to take it by force. I think our buddies out there in Minneapolis and Portland and all those places the conservatives talk about all the time in regards to rioting and non-peaceful protests, they're not so good at this rich stuff. They're not feeding them. They're eating them. So there's this idea that if you tear down the monolith, tear down the tower, that the gold inside, the rich people's money, be distributed to the common folk. This is the dream of the basement socialists. And I say you have to go to power to get power. You don't take it. You don't just take it like they tried to. Destroy things, burn down the system. You actually want to work with the guy and gal and company and entity that has the money, that has the power. They can give some to you. You have to earn it. You have to earn their trust and respect. Hopefully they work meritocratically and they don't act in a bigoted or otherwise non-meritocratic or, dare I say, idiocratic way. Not idiocratic. Idiocratic. Idiocracy. Idiocratic. It's a slightly different spelling. Idiocratic is a different word entirely. But you want to go to the rich and then try to, slowly but surely earn your place. Get and work with them. Use their capital, their buying power, their company to build your career. Feed the rich. Stand with them. Billionaires employ thousandaires. So again, this is all an oversimplification and a generalization. There's all these different scenarios where we've seen people like Jeff Bezos seemingly, I don't believe in this old right to work thing. Oh, you have to provide this job. It has to be. I think Jeff Bezos seems to have maybe potentially Amazon doesn't have the best practices in their warehouses. I can't say it's Jeff himself, Bezos. But it's something where there is room for improvement. There's always room for improvement, and we should strive to improve it. But I think this idea of we're just going to tax the shit out of people that are job creators, I don't want to call it a bubble. But people have been using this term bubble a lot. Scott Adams, everyone talks about bubble. Oh, you're bubbled. Bubble this, bubble that. We do have bubbles. We do have blind spots, all of us. I have blind spots, bubbles. My life is a bubble. Everyone's life is essentially a bubble. No one has a full, omnipresent, omnipotent view of everything. You can only go with what you're exposed to. But they say that, I think there is this blank spot with a lot of people in the world in that they don't get that our country is in competition with other major countries that are trying to soak up these billionaires, these millionaires, billionaires, and these massive, international multi-billion-dollar corporations. They're trying, some of them are even post-governmental entities, in the case of the ones that have a lot of political sway, like Twitter and Facebook and so forth. Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, these are essentially post-governmental entities. They have so much sway because of the technology that we use. Sun Microsystems, if they're still around. But we can't be villainizing, demonizing billionaires. I hate to take devil's advocate. Jeff Tidwell is out there and he's fighting for the rich guy. He's fighting for the upper classes. He's fighting for no. Kinda. Because what I'm saying is that they are providing a service. They are providing a doorway potentially for you to get ahead, for me to get ahead. for people that don't have, the have-nots, to get ahead. But you have to let them, especially when you have the next part, but you have to allow them to allow capitalism to take its course. There has to be enough competition. There can't be a monopoly. But you have to let capitalism take its course to the point where it's buying the future in bulk. Buy the future in bulk. Because we have such rapid population growth. We have limited resources. I like to think in an abundance mindset, but we have limited resources. And I say, at a certain point, it might be more humanitarian, more humanist, and much better for our economy and not the economy of the EU and Europe, not the economy of Australia, nothing in South America, nothing in Europe or Asia. We focus on our country. And we say, you, other countries, other groups, other territories, you focus on yours. We'll all work together. We'll collaborate. But when in terms of these companies finding a foothold, finding a base, we don't want to kick out all the people that are providing the most income because they're paying the most of the taxes. We know all this. You know it and I know it. So buying the future in bulk kind of speaks to the Amazon, Walmart effect, where we want the prices to go down. We want the prices to go down. That's how we get there. We buy in bulk. We create in bulk. And again, you can't work in absolutes here because there has to be a friction. There has to be a push and pull. Every action, equal and opposite reaction. There has to be a back and forth. It's like a puzzle. You can't just, the puzzle box comes into play once again. You can't just pull, or push, push. You have to do everything. Push, pull, turn a lever, press a button, grind a gear. And eventually, you may find a solution. Or if you can't find it after grinding the gear long enough, you put your nose to the grindstone and eventually it's starting to wear on you. You shake the box. You shake the box. So, don't eat the rich, feed the rich. Stand on the shoulders of giants. It is buying the future in bulk. Bet. Billionaires employ thousandaires. I'm not saying we should have unrestricted wealth, but at the same time, I'm open to it. Because I see the utility, I see the benefit. And at least, just in the context of nationalism versus globalism and alone, keeping these companies here in our area alone. Making sure those jobs are here for my people. And if another country is very competitive and they're very strong and they say, hey, we have a better tax deal for you rich people that own all the companies. The ones that make the big decisions, we have the deal for you. I wouldn't blame the billionaire for going over to another country. That's why we have to incentivize them to stay here. I'm not saying any of this that I've said in this video today is definite for all time. But in this moment, right now, 2020, we really need these people to stay here. So that's where my advocacy is at this moment. And #bet.